Okay, so what I'm doing today is I'm putting an AC back in the window. But what I'm also going to do is I've had a problem with this window every winter getting a lot of moisture. It's the coldest end of the house. It's also the closest to the bathroom, so there's always some moisture that gets in here, and I'm regularly having to clean off the moisture and black mold if it builds up. So I've got the AC in. What I'm going to do, just so that someone doesn't see some pink insulation from the outside, is I have a piece of bathroom paneling so it'll repel the water from the outside. Be better than seeing pink out in a window. So we're going to slide that down over the top. Like so. It is a snug fit. The AC itself, the windows that come with the home, this is the only two windows I didn't replace. I put this piece of board here as the support because the window, if you know mobile homes, they're not exactly strong enough. Any pressure on that AC is just going to end up pulling that right out the window. I have the screws all ready to go. Because this will be covered during the winter. Obviously the AC is not going to be on, but in the summertime I don't plan on taking that insulation out. So I just don't want this to vibrate up and then the weight of the AC gets pulled out the window. I'm going to put a better support on the outside just in case. But for now, this is the best option I could come up with. Alright, so that's definitely not going anywhere. What I picked up on insulation, I don't know, probably really didn't need this thick, but alright, I can't remember the ratings on this one. But I picked up the 2-inch insulation. I've already cut the pieces that I need. And just using the cardboard as a little bit of a wedge mount just to keep the top piece in place. The windows I found in my house aren't perfect, so there's going to be a few gaps that I'll use silicone sealant around to fill in, just to make sure there's no drafts. Now this particular piece, because I have this piece of wood right here as the support, I had to cut a section out, a groove out, so it'll fit here. And that is just going to slide right here. And unfortunately, because it is so thin on this section, when I first put it in, it did cause the insulation to cut right here a little bit. So all I'm going to do is just put a piece of black tape over it. I've got more insulation. I might actually do a second layer over this after, but this will just keep this from splitting any worse than it is. So we'll remove this. And I've cut out my last piece for the lower left. And I'm going to do the same thing on the left just because there's a crease there. I just want to put another piece of tape only to keep it from moving. This has the built-in groove, which comes with the insulation, so I won't need to do anything there. And what I'm going to do in a later vid is I've left the front of the AC open, and what I plan to do here, just for the winterizing, is I have some of the thin pieces of insulation. I'm going to take the front off like it is now, and I can put that piece right in here, and that will insulate that all up to keep the breeze from the winter and the air loss. So this is already better than what I have. What I used to have in the window, there's a company that's local, and you made these window inserts, double layered, heat shrinks so that it's no wrinkles in it, to give you a few extra layers in the window. They help, but not enough. So these are extra. I'm actually going to put these in this window over here and add to the couple that are already there to see if that will make a difference. So now that I have all this in up here, that's not going to be going anywhere. I have a few brackets. Just to keep this in place. This is what I used on these pieces to keep them in. There'll be spares. So I'm going to use it closer to where the crease is. I mean, ACs aren't that difficult to put in and out. One of the reasons I'm doing this is I've already had one shoulder issue, another one on the way, so the less times I can do this, the better. In an earlier video, I took the AC apart, did all the cleaning, make sure there's no mold or mildew inside. So that's all set there. One more. And I haven't decided if I'm actually going to paint that or buy some tacky paper. Most of the time the shade will be down anyway, so I'm the only one who will see it in behind there. So this is the last part where it's holding the two pieces here. I'm just going to put this one right down on the bottom. Alright, so all these pieces are in place. That's not going to go anywhere. And like I said, this one here I really won't need to put tape across because it has the groove inside keeping that area sealed there. So next I have the silicone sealant, and that's going to be for the smaller gaps going around. And I'm just using a clear inside one, nothing fancy. Alright, so let's get this started. When I first bought the house, I replaced almost all of these two windows. I don't remember why I didn't replace these at the time. But the problem I found is that the outer window was just being held not only just by staples, however, there was a large enough gap you could actually fit your fingers into that gap. So I was literally just losing heat right out the windows every year. You don't really need a lot to seal the gap. I do a little bit more gap on this side. It's either I cut the insulation a little crooked, or I know the windows are a little bit off, so it could be both actually. This room, I chose a smaller air conditioner. It's one I've had actually for about 20 years. It still works good. It's a low power, but since this room tends to be the cooler room of the house, if I have to use it in case my central AC has a problem, I've got this for a backup. And in the summertime, we'll run it occasionally just to make sure everything is turning on all right. Just smoothing it out, doesn't really have to be. I also did this, just for a little information, the ceiling on the house as well. When the roof was done, there was virtually no insulation in the ceiling. So I decided inside to put this up. There's a little bit less space to heat, and it made quite a difference on my heating cost every year. Now for the last section, I decided to use some foaming insulation. So I do have some larger gaps that are just too much for the silicone sealant. So there's a little bit larger gaps here and around here. So what I'm also concerned with in the summertime is wasps, bugs, other things of that nature getting in through that area. One more section I almost forgot. I find with a silicone sealant that rubbing alcohol will get that off pretty good off your hands. Alright, so last but not least, picked up some foaming insulation. Alright, so I just picked up some general gap filler. It's easier than trying to cut a lot of pieces to go around this edge. And this, it does a really, really nice job. Alright, so that's underneath, that's on the side. So actually what I'm going to do next is I'm going to go outside and check the outside area and use this to fill any gaps out there, and use the silicone sealant. Alright, so before I go outside, this is the indoor portion completed. Again, the insulation, some brackets to hold it up, silicone sealant around just to seal the gaps, and the expandable foaming insulation around the AC. The board in behind, of course, to keep the air conditioning secure. Let's put this back on. Alright, so I'm going to do this in two parts. This will be video part 1, and then I'll do a part through. So look for me at part 2 on the outside, doing the portion out there.